are. Really nice to meet you all. We're gonna give a few minutes before everyone joins here. Um, we're really excited to be here today. I'm seeing folks from world-class brands like HSBC, Nike, PwC, Citizens Bank, Robinhood, and so many more. And honestly, this was a heavily oversubscribed event beyond our expectation. And we were just blown away by the interest from all of you. So thank you so much for joining. We're all thrilled to have you here. Um, Real quick heads up, given the massive interest, we actually wanted to find a way to connect with you all on a more personal level. So we're opening up a limited number of complimentary one-on-one AI strategy consultations at the end of the session. There are only 15 slots available, and they're designed to give you a personalized roadmap from the team. So we're really excited to connect with you. So keep an eye on it, and we're gonna get started in just probably 1 minute.
I love seeing where everybody's from. Gosh, we're from all over the place. Welcome and thank you everybody for joining. We've got Texas, Minneapolis, Utah, Poland.
Awesome.
Cool. And if you guys don't mind, I'd love to hear where everybody is working and your companies and whatnot. You want to drop that in the chat too. London, wow. Stacy, I'm also in SoCal, so maybe not too far from you. Awesome. Sharina from London, social media manager. Hopefully this will be valuable for you. Awesome. Hi,
Wow. This is,
Brock.
this is
Cool.
Nairobi, St. Louis, so from all over the world. All right. Cool. I think we have like already 100 people in the room, so we can get started and um, get the fun content shared with all of you today. So. Um, Welcome to from AI Chaos to AI Champion. Over the next hour or so, we're gonna go on a journey, honestly. First, we'll define the AI social media crisis that I know many of you are feeling, honestly. Then the main event, Roxanne here will walk you through Upwork's incredible transformation story with a proven AI playbook in social and community success. After that, we'll do a deep dive interview with Roxanne on the realities of AI implementation in social and community, and we'll end with a live Q&A for your questions. Let's get started. Well, first, to get a feel for who's in the room, we're launching a quick poll. You should see it on your screen now. The question is, which of these social and community tasks consumes the most time for your team?
Yeah, I'd
A,
love.
yeah. So A, manual data and performance analysis. B, 24/7 community engagement and moderation. C, discovering on-tech content and trends. And D, proving business impact and ROI. So we'll take a moment for you to take the poll. Let us know what you think.
All of the above. Yes, can relate to that.
Should have that.
Should have had that as an option too.
Yep, cool. Let's see. All right. Well, this is awesome. So, well, it seems like the top answer here was manual data and performance analysis. 36% of you said this was the top choice here. Second to that was 24/7 community engagement and moderation, which is also huge. So, that's no surprise, especially with the scale of the companies represented here today. You're in exactly the right place. We're going to show you how Upwork tackle that exact challenge head on. And So yeah, let's first do a quick intro of ourselves. My name is Seijin. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Enrich Labs, where we develop and deploy AI coordinators for marketers. Before this, I spent my career at places like Meta, Google, and Udemy, seeing how technology can really transform the way we work. And I'm so excited to be joined by our guest of honor here today. Roxanne, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, it's great to be here and thank you all again for joining. I'm Roxanne. I am the Senior Manager of Social and Influencer at Upwork, where I oversee all things social. So social content strategy, community engagement, influencer partnerships. I've been in social media for about 13 years. I remember fondly when, Twitter parties were a thing and Instagram was barely launching and everyone had every brand wanted to be a part of it. But previously, I was at T-Mobile, and prior to that, I was also at Petco overseeing social.
Awesome. Cool. And let's start by defining the reality for so many of you here. We call it the AI social media crisis, actually. And like I was closely looking at the industry trends and the numbers from different reports. And the thing that really stood out to me over the past few months is there's actually quite a widespread AI experimentation from folks in the industry. 81% of you are already experimenting with AI, especially within social media and community space. Um, but also at the same time, it seems like many of you feel stuck and are struggling to get real value. 30% haven't fully embraced AI tools as they're struggling to get real value from them. That was like one of the latest numbers that we saw from Salesforce data. Um, at the same time, the pressure from leadership is actually immense. 96% of C-suite leaders expect AI to drive major productivity gains. And like honestly, you're caught in this major gap. So how do you master this? You need a proven AI playbook. And that's why we're so thrilled to have Roxanne here. And honestly, like in this word that the leaders pulling ahead aren't the biggest, they're the smartest and mastering strategic AI adoption to fuel growth. And Upwork was actually the exact forward-thinking customer of our AI social media coordinator, who we work closely to customize and deploy in a high-stakes environment. So Roxanne here is to share the playbook for that success. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Roxanne.
Thanks. Thanks, Seijin. And again, if you guys have any questions throughout like the slides I'm going to share, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll do our best to address them towards the end. But I think to start off, I know this new era of work with AI can be a little bit daunting. You really don't know where to start. And I'm fortunate enough to work, in a brand or an environment that really fosters innovation. So really excited to show you how we've implemented and reimagined social engagement through our AI coordinator that we built with Seijin. It's really about kind of blending that human AI connection with AI to help us scale and has allowed my team to show up in meaningful ways on social. So next slide. Before we get into the mechanics, I just want to ground us in the role of what our community engagement means to us at Upwork, because it's really the foundation of what made the AI coordinator that we built with Seijin a necessity and not just a nice to have. So at its core, our team really exists to build connections. And I know that that's not news to anyone on this call who works in social and community engagement. We want that one-to-one authentic connection with users on social. And that's what we want between Upwork, the brand, and people engaging with us across all of our social platforms. We're not just answering questions, we're driving brand discovery, we're nurturing advocacy, we're capturing insights that directly shape what our social content calendar is going to look like in the near future, and even sometimes our product roadmap. So our approach is really about human-centered. We want to be genuine. We don't want to sound robotic. We want to lead with empathy, and we want to make sure we're listening actively to what users are telling us on social. And that's really about building trust through kind of real two-way conversations. And a lot of the conversations we get on Upwork, they're not just really about our product, but they're people looking for genuine advice. Like, I'm starting my freelancing career. How do I get started? Or, I'm looking to start my small business, and how do I hire on your platform? So we want to make sure that we're showing up in those conversations, which is a lot, but that we're meeting them with context, care, and that relevance. And on the right, we need to be brand focused. So every interaction we find as an opportunity to position Upwork as a trusted guide. So again, it's not just questions about our platform. It's really about someone who is there to genuinely look for advice, look for tips, look for support, and also sometimes just engaging in work-related banter. I think if you're scrolling through your TikTok FYP, you probably see a lot of people talking about their day-to-day at work or career change, or they're trying to get a new client and whatnot. So it's these conversations, they're not just a sales pitch, right? It's truly about being genuine, helpful, authentic, and memorable in how we show up. And we all know that this world of social doesn't stop. These conversations are constantly happening. So what we looked at was like, our team is really drinking from the fire hose a lot of the time. There's so many conversations. How do we turn this noise into actionable insights? And then how do we make sure that we're showing up in, the right conversations at the right time? So next slide, what is the AI coordinator? Sounds a bit daunting, but actually I'm really excited to show you what we've built. The AI coordinator was created for us by Enrich Labs. And it's not just a tool. If you go back one slide, Seijin, perfect. It's a generative AI system. So with the AI coordinator, what we've done is it's fully embedded into our social workflows, as you can see here in this flow chart. And it's going to keep rotating, so I'll try and walk you guys through this so you can see exactly step by step how we've integrated it. But what the AI coordinator has done was it's allowed us to scale our community management, which seemed to be something that takes a lot of everybody's time, according to the poll. And it allows us to scale in a smart, sustainable way. So as you see in the first step, conversation comes into our social media management tool. The AI coordinator will then filter it. It filters it based on instructions we've taught it. What is the type of conversation? Can it be responded to? Is it a conversation that actually needs to be escalated for whatever reason or criteria we give it? From there, the AI coordinator will actually determine the next steps. And then it takes the appropriate action. The AI coordinator will sometimes respond directly with the right information. That could be a link to, an article on our website, a link to a resource that helps with whatever product question they have, or a link to basically contact our customer support if their case warrants it. And it also considers tone, and that's really important to separate it from your traditional chatbot. Sometimes the AI coordinator will skip it entirely. I think a lot of us know that sometimes there's just a lot of spam, like noise on social, that you as a brand can't really add value to. So it'll do that. It'll skip it, close it. We no longer see it in our queue. And then lastly, it escalates it to one of the queues that we built. There are specific escalation queues that we've built, so it will route whatever that case is to that particular queue, whether it's from a verified user, or is it from a potential like influencer that we may want to work with. And then across all of these escalation or routing systems, the AI coordinator is my favorite thing, applying the right tags. I think we all know social is an engine of information, and the way that we could really scale reporting through that is tagging, making sure every conversation we're applying tags, we're applying right context information, so that it's easy for us to extrapolate that into insights. So if we need to produce reports for a cross-functional team, or just your regular weekly BRs or your monthly BRs. All of this, again, allows us to build insights if we need to report out a summary about these said conversations. So why did we build it? Well, we built it because in 2024 alone, we had over 180,000 social media messages. And I mean, you could have as many people as you can on this team, but 180,000 is a lot, right? And it's hard to determine what from that vast amount is usable or insightful to the brand. So the AI coordinator just allowed us to handle that high volume moderation task, responding to thousands of questions, comments with consistency and speed. But I think what the real value that it's built for us is what it's actually enabled our team to do. So we've automated the routine, right? But in that, we've also freed up space for strategic engagement, building relationships, identifying those advocates for outreach, showing up in high visibility trending conversations, which I know that we all see brands chime in on, trending TikToks and stuff like that, which I'm excited to walk you guys through in a later slide. And just finding opportunities for deeper brand and storytelling. So with that, I will give you a little bit of a preview of what the AI coordinator looks like in action. If we go through the next section. So here's what it actually does day to day. In the earlier poll, I think 27% of you said moderation takes up the most of your time. Same, I feel that. So the AI coordinator handles thousands of comments, like I mentioned, closes out spam, replies with helpful links. A lot of the times, sometimes the information people need on social can be found in an FAQ or a knowledge-based article, but we're there to help them get there. We're there to provide that information directly. It also refers people to customer support, and it escalates, most importantly, it escalates sensitive content based on the parameters we've given them. So we all know that, we are the front lines with a lot of the community management, and sometimes we are the barrier to like crisis management as well. So escalation is really important to us, and that's something that we've trained the AI coordinator to do. So what the results that we've seen so far in 2025 alone, the AI coordinator has handled over 24,000 cases, which is massive. And about 12% of replies started as fully AI generated. So there's a learning curve, and it's not that the AI coordinator is fully independent in all of its interactions. It requires that human touch a lot, which I mentioned. And we're able to really we're able to focus on moments that require, human tone and brand nuance. The next thing is trend spotting. Does anyone feel pressure from, their brands of like, hey, we've seen this brand show up on this TikTok, and, this brand got X amount of likes on that TikTok. Like, how can we show up in these trending conversations? Outbound engagement is a real strong tactic, in my opinion, for social media teams. And we've set up the AI coordinator to also help us do that. So now the AI coordinator actually scans TikTok for trending conversations, and it alerts us all through Slack, which is very convenient. One of our goals is to show up in high visibility and trending content on TikTok. Like I mentioned, we find videos that we can comment on, which helps put our brand at the center of cultural conversations and thus drives brand visibility. Like, how many times have you seen a TikTok where a brand shows up and someone replies like, what are you doing here? And, it just drives that positive sentiment, really humanizes your brand. Before the AI coordinator, our team was scrolling through our own feeds, through our own FYPs, for hours sometimes, but now it's completely automated. We've trained the AI coordinator to flag videos relevant to our business. So not just about videos about Upwork that are gaining traction or likes, but videos about work, people talking about their workday. How can we show up? Videos about freelancing. And then furthermore, videos on thought leadership topics like how AI is changing this new era of work. And one great example that I've highlighted here was it actually flagged this TikTok about AI replacing jobs. And it started gaining momentum. Our AI coordinator caught it, flagged it, as you could see in that screenshot, and it even suggested a reply. So what we've had the AI coordinator do is it summarizes what the video is about, because sometimes a video can be, up to 2 minutes long, a few minutes long. And then it actually will suggest a reply for you. So it just puts you 3 steps ahead once that video is on your radar. That one comment drove over 7,000 engagements, which beat our monthly benchmark by about 55%, just in a single post. And I think that just shows the power of automation and being fast and being thoughtful. So next slide is social listening and reporting. So beyond responding, the AI coordinator is also helping us shape strategy and also automate some of our reports. In the earlier poll, I think 36% of you said performance and reporting took the most time. Same. So the AI coordinator supports reporting and insights for key campaigns for us. So for example, like product updates. What it does is it also helps track sentiment, share a voice, and key themes in real time. So I think a lot of us who have experience with social media management tools, we get all of that data. It's a lot of numbers. We get a lot of charts and graphs. We understand what sentiment is, what our share of voice is. But we have to take that step beyond to scrape that data and actually build, the TLDR. Give me what is the summary? What is the insights? The AI coordinator has helped us do that, which has been a game changer for us. Another thing is we actually launched a biweekly internal newsletter, and this actually focuses on Reddit, which Reddit is a gold mine for brand conversations or what people truly think about your product or your service. So that newsletter will actually scan key Reddit communities and will let us know what people are saying. And in turn, we've actually used that newsletter to share with key cross-functional teams like our product team, our marketing teams, just to inform, our messaging strategy and things like that. And then in the long term, we're also experimenting with like narrative tracking. So spotting shifts in how people not just talk about the product, but just about work in general, how they're feeling about, macroeconomics, the current state of work, just to help inform some stories that we can form as a brand. So all of that to show just really how we've helped or we've built our AI coordinator and implemented an AI system to turn social media into real-time intelligence, in my opinion. But
Uh,
yeah, pretty much
well,
it.
awesome. Yeah. Well, Roxanne, that was like absolutely incredible. Thank you. I just wanted to dig a little bit into some of the questions. I know the audience may be really curious to hear more about. So the first, maybe can you walk us through what a typical day looked like for your team before and after implementing AI? What really changed?
Yeah, that's a good question. And like I said, I think with bringing the AI coordinator, it's been kind of a mindset shift. So before the AI coordinator, I want to say our day started out like pretty reactive. We'd open up our tools, our dashboards to just a flood of notifications, DMs, brand mentions, comments. We were manually triaging. It was time consuming, and I think a lot of people can agree, sometimes emotionally exhausting, especially depending on the types of conversations that, came in overnight. But after implementing our AI social media coordinator, everything changed. I think the AI now, again, it pre-sorts our queues in real time. It helps us prioritize like high sentiment or high impact content, depending on the qualifiers we've taught it. And in some cases, we're having it even draft initial responses. So it gives us kind of that head start that we needed. And now we're coming in with just clear, actionable priorities. I think more mental bandwidth to focus on kind of the bigger picture, strategy, content creation, creative engagement. So we kind of moved our mindset from like keeping up, I think, to now leading the conversation.
Awesome. Next question we have here is what has surprised you most about working with an AI social media coordinator? What did you discover that you weren't really expecting before?
I think what I discovered that I wasn't expecting was I expected automation to make us faster. That's a given. But what surprised me the most was how much it actually made us like smarter in how we approach things. Like all in all, I think we've become just more perceptive as a team. And in my opinion, for me as like a, social media manager, that was important. The AI coordinator, it's surfacing insights we'd probably never catch manually, micro trends in user conversations, verified mentions before they could potentially gain traction, and even identifying pain points in our customer user journey that weren't being reported through official channels. We also discovered that the AI's ability to learn tone and context was more intuitive than we expected. To be very transparent, I think there's a lot of skepticism around that. It's easy to group an AI coordinator into the likes of like a traditional chatbot, right? But we learned how it could adapt the response or suggested reply based on the incoming message's sentiment, urgency, and even like platform or channel norms, right? So the way you talk to someone on LinkedIn is probably really different than how you talk to someone on TikTok. So that level of nuance was what surprised me, and I think it's what's important in helping us maintain our brand voice while scaling our presence.
Awesome. The next question we have here is tell us about a time when something happened on social media outside of business hours. how did you handle it before versus how it works now?
Oh yeah, I think we all get a little bit of anxiety when we see, our phone notifications with hundreds of Slack messages. But I think before AI, in my opinion, before the AI coordinator, there's always kind of a pressure to have a rotating on-call system. I feel like in even my previous careers, there was always like traditional on-call. We'd have someone up until 10 p.m. moderating the queue. Someone always had notifications turned on, which honestly, again, creates a lot of anxiety and burnout risk, right, as a manager. There were nights, where you could miss a breaking conversation or you get alerted too late. I think now with the AI coordinator, what gives me slight peace of mind is like it will flag spikes in brand mentions, sentiment shifts, or viral threads even late in the hours. And it could also triage and alert the right individuals if that threshold is hit. So having a tool like that does give you a peace of mind, in my opinion. And I think positions your team to make your responses more timely and intentional so you're not just being rushed or reactive.
Awesome. Um, you've managed social media at several major companies right now. So how do you think about social media management differently after this experience?
Yeah, I think the whole experience has really reinforced something I've always believed, which social media just isn't a communication tool. Like I think that minimizes it extremely. It's a real-time intelligence system for the entire brand. So working in social, like we have a direct line to how people feel, what they care about, what's picking up momentum. And for me personally, that's always been my favorite part of working in social, engaging with people in the moment, seeing the conversations trickle in, sharing something and seeing that reaction right away. You post something on Instagram, you see what people like or don't like about it. And then sometimes even watching, a post go off and go viral. It's exciting. Social at its core is like it's about agility, responsiveness, and creativity, but it's also very carefully articulated strategy and orchestration. And I think that's where the AI coordinator has been a game changer for us. It helps turn noise, the constant flood of like mentions, posts, reactions, into clear, actionable insight that we can use across the company. So someone, a cross-functional team can really digest that. Like I said, one of my most favorite things that we've done recently was a biweekly newsletter that we've built just based on Reddit conversations. Some about our brand, some about the industry. But it gives us just a super helpful TLDR plus real takeaways. So what the AI coordinator will do is it'll give us the executive summary. Here's what the conversations were about on these subreddits in the last 2 weeks. And then furthermore, it even gives us suggestions of like, here's maybe, some content topics that we may want to write about, some social media video topics that we may want to create, and then even some slight tweaks in your copy or messaging that could really ensure that we're being relevant to our consumers.
That's awesome. Well, the social listening newsletter like has seen such a like amazing response from your internal teams. Like I hear it's already been shared to like almost like hundreds of people every other week or so.
Yeah, it's really like it's great to see when you create these things within your team, when you create these documents and these insights and reports within your team and you share it with cross-functional teams and they really say like this has been super helpful. That goes a long way.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. The last question we had here, what advice would you actually give to other social media managers who are curious about AI, but might be a little bit hesitant about getting started?
Yeah, this is a great question. I think my main advice and something that I still have to remind myself to follow like every other day is just start small and I think start focused. Like you don't need to overhaul your whole system on day one. And I think it's easy to be overwhelmed by the pressures to do that when you're constantly, your articles and you're on LinkedIn and everyone's talking about how they're using AI. Start small. Be very specific with where you want to start. I would recommend look at your team or your most repetitive and time-consuming task. Like start there. Is it comment moderation? Is it trend tracking? Like I'm scrolling my FYP for hours. How can I make this into a task that is going to take me 30 minutes or less? Is it the first pass triage, or is it as like simple as even tagging the conversations that come into your channel so you have those rich insights available? I think that's where the AI coordinator can add instant value, or where implementing AI can add instant value. And then you kind of build your confidence from there. I feel like you should kind of switch the mindset of looking at how can AI be like a force multiplier for my team and my workflow, and how can it amplify like my impact.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean the journey is just so clear, and I just wanted to highlight that you've all seen the incredible results at Upwork here, and now I just wanted to spend maybe just 6 seconds on the repeatable four-step process that makes this transformation possible for any team. At Enrich Labs, like I said earlier, we develop custom AI coordinators that are personalized to help you maximize business impact. This is our AI playbook, the exact same one we use with Upwork. The way it works, it's pretty simple. First, you hire the AI coordinator for a specific role, just like a human teammate for social media or community management. Then we onboard it with your brand's unique guidelines. So it learns your voice and gets trained with the specific parameters that you set for engagement or any specific details. Then we deploy it right into your existing tools like Slack, Sprinkler, Sprout Social, Chorus, whichever tool you use, for no context switching, which is really important, especially when you have to deal with hundreds of different tools every day in social. Uh, and then, of course, the AI coordinator continuously learns per your feedback, which is the amazing piece about this. Again, this is not just another tool or dashboard, but a real tireless teammate that works alongside your team. And I see a couple of questions around the actual brand onboarding and how much time it takes. The entire process can usually take about 4 weeks to 6 weeks to full deployment, including the entire sort of development and brand onboarding and training. And then we continuously provide feedback to improve the performance of the AI coordinator. So I would say 4 to 6 weeks is a pretty good window to get started. Yeah, and I think like one thing that's always important, like also given my experience, this was very important when I worked at bigger companies. Like getting the buy-in and budget from your leadership can always be the biggest hurdle. So we actually made this next slide specifically for you, and I min it. Go ahead and maybe like take a screenshot right now. This is your evidence-based framework to take directly to your leadership team. So first of all, community engagement at scale, like up to 90% of total inbound cases triaged by AI, really helps to free up 10 to 15 strategic hours per week for your team members, and like honestly unlocking an estimated like millions in annual savings. And then 24/7 brand booster, like Roxanne shared in one of her examples. We basically enable you to stay on top of the latest trend out of the noise, so that you can even come up with more engaging and proactive engagement opportunities to really boost your brand engagement across social. And then lastly, but most importantly, it requires zero engineering requirements on your end. This is a plug and play, easy integration. We take the entire development work on our end to deploy and develop the custom trained AI coordinator. Um, so um, so yeah, hopefully that's helpful for your teams as well. With that, we wanna maybe open it up for a live Q&A. I think we can take a few questions. Brew, let me know if there's any specific question that you think we should start with.
Yeah, I think there's a few here that I'm just seeing in the chat that I could kick off with, Seijin. Um, so Gopi asks, can the trends be identified on different locations separately? I think in short answer is yes. Right now, our sources that are plugged into the AI coordinator range across various platforms. So Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter especially. And then depending on whether you can plug it into your social media management tool, that could open up even further. So you could look at things like news sources, forums, etc. So yes.
Yep. I think another question that I saw here is human approval and editing built into the DM and comment response workflow? If so, how does that work? Slack integration, custom dashboard, does the AI respond without prior human oversight? So this is a very important and interesting question. I'm sure Roxanne can share more about her experience. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to maybe like share a little bit more of your experience here?
Yeah, so yes, it is in short. So I guess to backtrack, like we first set up guardrails and there made sure there was a human in the loop system from the beginning. So we monitor any flagged content. In addition, the AI will also suggest replies, and that's how we started out with there. We did not put the AI coordinator out in the wild. There was, a period of kind of teaching it, finessing it. So we checked the AI suggested replies before publishing, and we were able to edit as we needed. I think the one thing I want to note there is the edits that we would feed it would ultimately teach the AI coordinator, and the AI coordinator would absorb that, so it knew for the next round or next similar comments how to adjust. And then we also did like weekly reviews as a team. So like my CE team, what was flagged, how was it handled, what could have been missed. And we use that to also refine the model. Um,
Yes.
the Slack integration, I think, was it was very like, I think that was key for us, to be honest, Seijin, was like, because we work in Slack, just communicating with each other internally. So we actually have various AI coordinator Slacks. There's AI like influencer comments, there's AI respond comments, there's AI spam comments. So I was able to batch it that way. And we are actually able to edit the reply directly within Slack and even the tagging directly within Slack. So how we were teaching the AI coordinator was also happening directly within Slack.
Cool. That's awesome. Another question I see here from Xavier is what social media management tool are you using at Upwork? And curious to understand how you're pulling in Reddit conversations, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think I'll take the first one. So we use Sprinkler. Seijin, I'll let you kind of share under the hood how Reddit is being pulled in.
Yes, it's fully integrated into Sprinkler right now. We also have our own way to pull all the Reddit conversations on our end through direct API integration with them. Regardless of the social tools that you currently use, whether it's Sprout Social, Chorus, Sprinkler, we do support like full compatibility with your existing tools. So it's basically kept as a source of truth for your CRM of a record in your system. Um,
I just saw a question, I think from Sharina and David, of like how long it takes to get the AI coordinator started. Seijin covered it in his earlier slide. I think we saw a viable product after about 4 to 6 weeks of training it and getting it started. But I want to talk about like impact. We honestly saw impact in like the first few weeks, especially when you're looking at the time savings. So we saw like just the deeper strategic value, like trend identification, content planning. That took a couple months of training and refinement, but we didn't wait for it to be perfect to launch, right? Like I said, there was that human in the loop system that when we carefully launched, that we integrated to make sure that what was going live and in market we still had visibility into that. And slowly but surely, we kind of really it just the accuracy increased and it was able to become more independent that way.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. Another question I see from Chris here is if adjustments to a social listening model need to quickly be made, is there a query system the managers can quickly edit, or is that something the Enrich Labs team handles upon request? So right now, our team basically handles the requests pretty much right on the spot. The response time is typically within an hour, if not 10 or 20 minutes. But we are looking to introduce a system where you can make the tweaks on the go through natural language interface. But that's on the roadmap for now.
Yeah, I think obviously every model is different, but when we had the idea of a newsletter, we were able to see a V1 variation from Seijin and team pretty quickly. And we gave Seijin kind of the topics of like, yeah, we want to listen to conversations about our brand, but we also want to listen to conversations about, small businesses and what they're experiencing in this climate, et cetera. So you definitely can adjust your social listening model and the topics that you listen to.
Cool. And yeah, I think I see another question around um,
I think there was a question from Christina around like training the AI to understand like our brand voice. But I'll talk a little bit about that. We fed it examples and we fed a lot of them. So past replies, campaign copy. We had a hub of knowledge base articles, which, is like if if someone asks a basic question, here's our knowledge base article of how to respond to it. So we fed it our knowledge base articles as well. And then after that, it was just a lot of training, a lot of adjusting to make sure like tone felt right and whatnot.
Yep. Well, I see another question from Nikki. Are you able to feed the AI response matrix? Yes, I mean, that's exactly what Roxanne talked about. That's one of the input that we provided for the AI coordinator to really improve its response and custom voice for itself.
Jessica asked an interesting question about can you use the coordinator in social media campaigns?
So right now, we are mostly focused on organic social media management. Paid social media campaigns is, well, actually, we have another coordinator that's in beta that's going to help with the broader paid social media campaigns as well. This goes beyond the sort of performance analytics, but also helping to set up campaigns across paid channels and helping to further optimize based on new insights with creative tips. We are still in beta, but we are hoping to release it pretty soon in the near future.
Yeah, and I will say, I think one of the ways that the Air Coordinator has like indirectly helped our paid social campaigns is really through the social listening insights. Like I mentioned, when it does those newsletters, it also gives us suggested, messaging or post copy that we can test in, paid social ads to see if those headlines produce more results as a product of being more relevant.
Yeah. So I think another question we had was the actual cost associated with this. We basically have different pricing models based on the volume of the cases and the actual needs around different teams. So that's something we can share more through the separate calls, but happy to answer more questions through those calls.
Jessica asked an interesting question. Can you use the AR coordinator to build target audiences or followers on key channels? We struggle with that at her company. Oops, sorry, lost it. Okay. We struggle that the majority of our company's followers are internal employees or competitors, but not our target audience. That is a great question. Something I transparently haven't explored, but I think that could be a really valuable use case, Seijin.
Yeah, we actually have been testing this internally for a couple of different use cases. This is a beta feature that we're also working on. But yeah, we'll be happy to discuss more if there's any specific needs around the use case here. But it's definitely a very common challenge for a lot of the brands, especially in the niche categories.
Yeah, I might have to add that to our next meeting agenda too, then, Seijin, because I'm intrigued by it. That's a good idea, Jessica.
Yes. Um, Cool. Another one from Erica here is, can we use this across multiple brands? Yes, you can. What we do here is for each of your brands, we'll try to train the AI coordinator with specific brand guidelines, brand voice, and the community engagement instructions. And then each of these AI coordinators will be tailored to that brand needs. So the short answer here is yes, you can absolutely use this for multiple brands. Cool. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all the questions that we got so far. Like a lot of awesome questions. And thanks all for sharing questions here. And feel free to leave a note after the call if there's anything. One thing wanted to touch on here is that we're just about time here, um, as a thank you for investing an hour with us. We basically wanted to help you map out your own journey from basically chaos to champion. So, given the massive interest, we are opening up a few limited slots for a free one-on-one AI strategy consultation. It's a strategic session with an expert from my team to assess your needs. A session we typically charge at around $500, completely free for you through the attendees. We only have only 15 slots available right now, given the like heavy engagement and the sort of deep dive that we do. So scan the QR code on your screen to book your session. And Roxanne, finally, I cannot thank you enough. This was like amazing and invaluable. And to everyone who joined us, thank you for your time. We'll be sending out the recording later this week. If you have a question, feel free to reach out and hope you have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.